direct selling industry, which is building sales teams both here and abroad. And of course, I'm here in Las Vegas, Nevada, and they have a big convention for one of the big icon companies, which is pretty much dominated. This particular company dominated by women. So I reside at the Signature at the MGM, and I think we've been invaded. So there's 5,000 people that came in for this convention for this company, and I think most of them are in my tower. so it's been taking a half hour to an hour just to get up to my floor. So it brought back memories of the camaraderie, the teamwork, the excitement, things of that nature. And of course, we want to support that industry with BeeKonnected, but we're so much bigger than that. So again, if you're with us here today, I'm going to be your guide. I'm going to be bringing on several guests, including the founder, the creator of BeeKonnected here in just a minute. But I want to make sure that you understand kind of who are we, where did we come from, what do we offer, where are we headed, and then we want to bring on some experts today and let them tell their story. I know we have some special ones today and a special announcement today that regardless of if you're brand new or you've been with us from the beginning, you're going to want to hear what we have to talk about. That'll be there in just a few minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and screen share here real quickly and bring up a couple visual slides so you can get a little better optics about BeeKonnected. And hopefully you can see that there on your screen. So this is our Saturday show. We've been doing these for over 4 years. And is the date there shows it is the 29th of June. And so, you know, we like to say here at BeeKonnected, you want to be smart and be rewarded if you're going to be online, right? So we obviously know a lot of these companies are household names. Zoom obviously got its break in the pandemic, growing from 10 million to 300 million customers just in about 18-month period of time. So I congratulate them for scaling that fast. But of course, the grandfathers of the industry, the YouTubes, the TikToks. By the way, TikTok hit 1 billion subscribers within 5 years. That was pretty impressive. And of course, Facebook with Zuckerberg and Meta with Instagram, LinkedIn and Kajabi. Now, why would I show other companies? Because that technology has obviously proven itself that people not only like it, they love it. Otherwise, you wouldn't have billions of people on a platform. But what if there was a company that could actually collapse time, energy, effort, and increase efficiency? And that's what BeeKonnected is our CEO set out to build a platform where you didn't have to have 9 passwords and 9 relationships with customer service and figure out all these things. You could do it all in one platform. So regardless if it's virtual conferencing, selling your premium content, finding leads, growing groups where there's no algorithm suppressing it. And then some of our software is patent pending because it's very specific to the need of the companies and individuals. So here at BeeKonnected, we made it simple, we made it affordable, and most importantly, especially to the entrepreneurs, we made it efficient. So we introduced on the 15th of last month the world's first ever integrated virtual conferencing platform, which we call K2K or Care to Connect. So it has built-in live links. It has links that work in replays, so you don't dig stuff out of chat. That is so old school. Once you get used to BeeKonnected, you never want to go back to old technology. In other words, if you're an iPhone user, would you want to trade in your brand new iPhone for, like, say, an iPhone 4? No, we don't go back in life. We don't retreat. We always go forward if we're entrepreneurs. And then the P3 system, that one is revolutionary to the direct selling industry. Now remember, there's easily over 100 million people in this industry, and this software is specific to their wants and needs. And we've talked to CEOs of affiliate programs that have millions of their own people, and they love the concept, they love the technology where their leaders can actually instantly sell or sign up for the entire company, and people get credit in the moment. This is a game changer for anyone with an affiliate program or a direct sales company. So it's very exciting if you're in that industry. I would have given my right kidney because I wouldn't have had to fly around the world 50 times to do what I did maybe only 5, which I would definitely wouldn't do 5, not 50, because after 5 it become kind of eh. So you're looking at a timeline. So how did we get here? And the final phase of our tech enthusiasts, the people that always like to do new stuff, that is about to come to an end, because as of the upcoming month in July, we're upgrading, a massive upgrade to our app on the phone. So the mobile device that everyone carries around will be as powerful. Thank you. Will be as powerful as being on a computer. And this is very important for the younger generation, because they don't really like to lug around laptops or computers anymore. They all work off their phones. And so we're going to be just as powerful on a mobile device as we are as a computer. And that is a game changer, to put in 9 different tech stacks within one company. So as we roll through here, this is what I was talking about, the innovators, and we thank the David Roberts, and you know who you are if you've been with us for a while, you're the tech enthusiasts. Now we're into what we call the visionary phase. This is the early adopters. This is the funnest part of growing a company, and I've done this several times in my life, building a company from day one and building it to huge revenue and a lot of success, is the visionary part. This is the early adopters. This is when we'll onboard about 10 million of our customers on our path to doing over 100 million. And then we're going to go through an IPO. Now, I'm not bragging about any of this. There's a lot of opportunities here for you to be able to make multiple streams of income besides what just your company has to offer, right? Because everybody pretty much coming to BeeKonnected is an entrepreneur. So instead of me trying to talk about somebody else's creation, somebody else's ideas, I'd like to bring on board the person responsible for all of this, right? So this person that I've known several years prior to my engagement with BeeKonnected back in February of 2020, this was a person that I was very impressed with, because I'm impressed by people that when I'm talking to the people that work with or for this person, what is their attitude towards that individual, right? That's how I really judge a leader. And this is a person that everyone loves to work with. Now, she's had multiple businesses, and we won't take up the time. I will just say the last business that she created herself, founded it, and then ran, was the Public Speakers Association, which she ran for about 7 years, and then got the itch going on, because that's about her time span of doing stuff is 7 years. So we know we got her in here for another couple of years before she gets some other crazy idea. But the question often asked is, why did you do this, right? And of course, she saw the pain points of all the speakers and coaches out there, and knew that there wasn't a platform to solve their problems, and she couldn't find one. So she went ahead and built one herself, which is no small undertaking. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I'd like to bring up the CEO and the original founder of BeeKonnected, Ms. Tanya Hoffman.
Hello, everyone. Ta-da! Jazz hands.
Wait for the jazz hands.
Oh my goodness! I just met with a fabulous couple yesterday, and they were asking me, why did I create this? And it's so amazing to me. Everything that I talked about was my pain point, was their pain point, right? Both of them were entrepreneurs for a long time. And so they immediately got the whole vision, because they too were frustrated. So it's great when we can actually create something that people are going to make a huge difference in their lives.
I was alluding to, Tanya, that, the MGM has been invaded by a direct sales company. And it brought back a lot of memories of how excited people get, by belonging to something that, that gives them hope. And it pains me, because I'm like, if you only knew that we existed, but I don't want to be bum rushed by a bunch of people where I live. So I'm kind of keeping a lid on it so I can find out who the true leaders of their organization is, and I'll have a conversation with them. But your software that you've created, I mean, how do you go from the public speakers world and then creating 9 different tech stacks in one company?
I always create something because I'm so frustrated myself. And when I get frustrated, I know there's got to be someone else frustrated as well. And I've always had this belief that if someone can create something, then I can create it as well. So you were crazy enough to say, yeah, let me do this with you.
Well, in my defense, I did ask a couple questions to make sure that you weren't completely off your rocker. Now, of course, that's what the attitude was, 4.5 years ago. And of course, now nobody's laughing now because they're like, holy cow, that's ingenious. But that's what it takes sometimes. You got to be a little on the border of insanity versus, a genius. And, it's a thin line. It's a thin line. Because I had some, rich friends that said, what thinks you can take on companies as big as Zuckerberg and those type of companies? And I'm like, well, but time will tell.
And that's what I get, when I tell people, I was just at one of the hotels here yesterday to have dinner, and people were like, well, you're doing what? You're going up against who? And I'm like, yeah, if I don't, who will, so it might well be us.
Now, for the new people here, right, because they're just trying to get a grasp on all of this. So obviously there's a lot to be connected. But, I always often tell people, I'm like, look, if you go into like a Golden Corral or you go to one of the buffets here in Vegas, which is amazing, right? They have everything under the sun, every nationality. They have every food from all over the planet. You don't have to eat the whole thing when you go.
Exactly.
You don't have to have every single thing. You just pick what you like, pick what you need. And then if you need something in the future, it's here for you. So virtual conferencing obviously is something that everybody's doing because of the pandemic. We got used to. Before, nobody liked to do it. But now that the pandemic set in, everybody's doing virtual conferencing, but they're using software that's very old.
Yeah, it just reminds me, I was telling the couple yesterday, it's like, yeah, I remember when everyone was on Skype, that people like, even my kids are like, Skype, what's that? But they were not wanting to leave. They're like, what, Zoom? Oh, and they were very late to transition. And I see that for entrepreneurs is by the time they're ready to get started on something, it's already been 5 years later. And the people who got in early are the ones who benefit the most because it's that momentum time. So this is the point that we have right now. And we see people taking advantage of this moment in time with us. And it's so exciting.
Yeah, we were talking to several people this week that have, obviously the caliber is what I'm saying of the individuals showing up. And I know our affiliate partners out there are doing a fantastic job introducing us to really some impressive leaders, impressive companies.
Oh, and what I love is that they see the whole vision, and it's going to help them tremendously. And that's why we built this. And we built so many different aspects so that it does fit whatever it is that their business is focused on. And, that's really important to create something like that.
Okay, well, we don't chat too much. Obviously we love our baby, but the point is, what are the other people saying about BeeKonnected? So I know you have a couple fabulous people that you've reached out to that you're bringing on board. So let me go ahead and put back on the screen share. And this is an individual that was with you before, correct?
Yes. So oh my gosh, I'm so excited to introduce her to our whole community. She was one of the very, 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 very first people on the platform about the same time that Mr. David Roberts was with us. And she immediately saw the vision. But, just like with anything else, we were so young back then. And now she's come back around. She's always had an amazing ability to network and connect with people from really all over the world. She's had multiple business networking group organizations. She puts on conferences. I actually spoke at one of her conferences many, many, many years ago. Just one of those people that everyone just adores. So without further ado, everybody, let me introduce you to Miss Sandy Go. Yay! So how are you, Miss Sandy?
I'm doing great. As you can hear, the phone is ringing in the back. There's
always
people sawing up trees outside.
You know, why is that? You know, when you're doing something that, you know, your phone always wants to go off at that time. So I know you just created a really awesome group that I'm like, oh my gosh, so many people are going to be wanting to be a part of this. And it kind of comes from my heart being, you know, the former creator of the Public Speakers Association. You created a new group. What is that?
Yes, it's the Christian Speakers Group. And so we're titling this free group that's open to all. It's Find a Christian Speaker, Be a Speaker. And yeah, what really motivated me was, you know, this is a troubled, you know, world, it seems, and people need that encouragement. And it's like there needs to be more positive messaging out there, and some, you know, sharing some good news out there. And why not group together and see how we can collaborate and create, you know, create events. And the BeeKonnected has so much capacity. It's just incredible. And especially knowing you and the other founders, and you're so authentic and true, trustworthy. You know, it's a no-brainer to work with you and to be here. And I'm learning how to use this updated platform that continually is transforming. It's just amazing. And even with the apps that you have now is very easy. And I can't, you know, I'm looking forward to, you said there's an upgrade coming up.
I know, you know, we're always looking at how to make things simpler, but you know, you think it's already simple, so that's even better. And I know you've got like courses that you're bringing over and everything. That sounds really cool.
Yeah. So my thing now is memorable marketing, and so I'm you know, whether it's individuals, organizations, we want to be memorable. We want to be easily referable. And so I also have some courses just to help people identify their you know, their special gift. You know, a lot of people don't even realize what their special gift is because they've lived with it all their life. So they need someone else to point it out. And yeah, and so if we can share our gifts and strengths with each other, we can be that much stronger. And I love, you know, BeeKonnected even has the connection generator. If you need any more people or connections, it's all automated, and it's just learning the tools like anything.
Yeah, I know. You know, people are so funny because they don't see their brilliance, you know, and when you throw it out there and you're like, why aren't you, this is so amazing, you're so amazing at this, they're like, really?
Exactly, right. And another thing that I really appreciate with BeeKonnected, you and all of them, because I know where it started from, and I know it was not to make money. That was not your focus. Your focus was to help entrepreneurs and business people, just people like, you know, everyone that's on this line right now, to you know, just work more smarter and more efficiently, and you know, and it's mutually beneficial. So everything that you've built, I can see there's a heart behind it. It's heart centered, and yeah, I really super appreciate that, and I look forward to others joining our group. It's the, you know, the Christian Speakers Group. So I hope more people sign up, and I'm going to be hosting a monthly networking and pitch party. So kind of just help everyone to share what your gift is, what you have going on, so that we can cross promote and, you know, collaborate and more people in. And then you can create your own separate groups. I'm learning all this. That would feed in and out, so that we can, you know, continue to help each other learn the platform and you know, grow our businesses.
I love that. I love that. You know, one of the things that I think is so special too is, you know, you talk about, you know, knowing what your strengths are, but it's also knowing what the other people's strengths are, because wherever you're weak, you need to fill that hole in, right? I know with Mr. Reed, you know, he is a incredible, positive person, you know, and and like nothing phases him. And it's always surprised me because, you know, I've always thought I was positive. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm not even close. And so I think it is about finding the right people to connect with and not to be afraid to connect with people. And that's what I love about you is you've always stretched yourself to connect with just anybody.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, that's, I don't know. It's just in my natural wiring. Both my husband and I just, you know, we just love connecting people, and it's a joy.
Yes,
it's great to, you know, have a platform that actually supports that. So.
Exactly. Well, we love that you're here with us again. It's great to see people come back around and go, wow, when did this all happen?
It's true. Yeah, it is. It's amazing. So thank you so much.
We look forward to seeing your community grow here. So thank you so much.
Thanks.
Awesome. All righty, everybody. And I know Mr. Reed has another slide for our next incredible announcement and guest star.
Okay, and I can take a hint. I can take a hint.
Hint. There we go. Now, I know a lot of people have met this last fabulous woman coming up, but I have an incredible announcement. So Miss Cassie Parks, she is now our new CLO. And if you're like, what is a CLO? It's this Chief Learning Officer. So I want to bring her to the stage. She has a wealth of knowledge about manifesting money. That's what her whole focus is, to help people. And I'm so excited that she's part of BeeKonnected in such a huge way, and really stepping up into this major role that, you know, frankly, we've just needed. How are you, Ms. Cassie?
I'm fabulous. How are you?
Fantastic. And welcome to being our Chief Learning Officer.
Thank you. Thank you to JR for trusting me and allowing me to play on this big stage and platform and help BeeKonnected grow.
Absolutely. I know you just kind of jumped in here with all 24 feet going, you know, let's do this.
Yeah, I'm excited. I see the vision. I think, you know, this is so good for entrepreneurs. Like all of your pain points were my pain points. And you've even uncovered pain points I didn't realize I had, but now I do, because there's a solution. It's like, oh, why couldn't I do that before? Right? Why didn't it work like that before? How come there was no system like this before? So yeah. I'm super excited to introduce this to so many entrepreneurs that are going to be so grateful when they find it.
I love it. I know a lot of times, you know, I've always tried to focus and help people not just simplify their life, but also make more money. Because I know a lot of entrepreneurs really struggle with that concept that, okay, they've got to work each day to make the bills pay, right? So let's make it even simpler for them.
Yeah, and you've done that and continue to do that, right? I mean, there's just so many features already now, so many features that are coming in the future that do that set entrepreneurs up for success. And what I always tell people is I love that setting it up right for entrepreneurs also sets it right up for the consumer. We have created a platform that makes it, I'm transitioning from Kajabi. And what I know is that this is better for the consumer too, because when we're interested in self-development or things that we want to grow, we're often do more than one thing, right? We might want to grow our business, might want to grow ourselves. I know JR is big into reading and developing things like that. So we're looking for the next thing. And Kajabi, you know, you would have to log into multiple systems. Here, you're hanging out, running your business, and then you can also go do your self-development. That's just one example about how this program serves the entrepreneur, but the consumer as well.
Absolutely. And I know you've come through a whole transition as starting as a member. And then each time you're like, I need more. I want more. I want to be part of this more. And now not only are you an investor, but part of the C-suite. So, you know, welcome aboard.
Thank you. Yeah. The more I saw the vision, the more I was like, this is going somewhere. This is going somewhere. Like, and so, yeah, I was just kept investing until I finally was, made that transition to an equity investor.
I love it. When because you meet with people all the time, about BeeKonnected. What's the one thing that you think is like always, makes people go, wow? Do you have something that you're like, oh, or is it just like it's so many different things?
I think it's that there's always something like, oh, wow, I can do that too. Oh, that's so easy to do that. Oh, I can do that here too. I think it's that there's always another thing. There's always another wow factor, right? Whether you start with the P3 system and then you go to premium content, or you start premium content, you're always like, wow. Oh, their wow factor.
Right. You froze for a second, but you're back. Well, fantastic. Well, welcome aboard. I know people will see a lot more of you, and I'm really excited about the new position for you and really taking on BeeKonnected in such a huge way.
Thank you. Me too.
All righty. Let's bring Mr. Reed back to the stage.
Did I go somewhere? Obviously, leadership is everything to any survival of any company. You got to have the right leadership in place. Doesn't matter how great just the product alone is. I had a opportunity for 4.5 years of my life, Tanya, to work with a gentleman who built one of the biggest insurance companies in the United States. And he was one of the co-founders there. And he talked about 5 things that a company has to have, no matter what kind of company it is. And if these 5 things don't happen, it's only a matter of time before the company falls apart. One, he talked about you got to have a product or a service that's needed, wanted, and used always. And it's replenished without somebody making that process happen. 2, administratively, because of the society we're in now, you have to be able to deliver what you promise. And people have no patience anymore for things that don't work, right? If you've ever gone to a fast food restaurant in the drive-through, and by the time you get done talking to the little box, if your food's not ready 30 seconds later, people are pitching a fit. That's about the attention span people have now, right? With the microwave, remote control, the internet, everything is instant. So administration, very key. But people invent products all the time, and you can buy software. The third is, how are you going to reach the world, right? Because back in the day, I'm old now, I'm a baby boomer. We used to have, I remember when TVs came on board, you had 3 channels.
Right. And Gilligan was always one of them.
It's basically like, if you gave them a TV, they don't have 3 channels. They're like, hey, it's broken. The other 1,000. So again, media is obviously transformed. It's not just print and ads and billboards. Now it's the internet and YouTube and all the things. So how are you going to find the client, right? Because the most successful people are busy. They're busy making money. They're not watching commercials. They're not watching ads. How are you going to get to them? So you got to have a plan in the marketing side of this. Now that's 3. Now 4 is money. And that's what this is where most companies fail, is they don't have enough money. You can't just start with money. You eventually have to have enough in reserve when you go through that expansion, which is what we're doing. So we time this accordingly. We self-financed it in the beginning, proven ourselves, and now people are seeing us and saying, oh, I want to. Now, that's 4 of the 5. Because there's been a lot of rich people that I know that start a company and it still dies regardless, because they're rich, because that's not the final component. The final component that my mentor taught me. Now, remember, this is a gentleman, when I met him, he had a portfolio of about 40 million that he made when his company went through an IPO. And then I watched him the next 10 years take his portfolio from 40 million and turn it into 400 million. So again, this is advice from super rich people. I've learned not to argue with these people, because you can end up being right, but remember, they'll still be rich.
All right.
So the 5th one is the experience. That's the experience factor. That's where leadership comes into play, right? That's the make or break. I've built many companies before where I was 2nd in command, 3rd in command, and the top person makes a boneheaded move, and it kills everything for everybody. So I like what you're doing is you're surrounding yourself with the best experts from all the different industries. So it's not just what they call a fourth echelon build, it's a fifth echelon build. So I know you reached out and got Frank Fausto, who built Google for the first 15 years, to be your CMO. You got David Dubbs, who's, you know, a 30-year digital marketer, worked for billion-dollar companies. You know, you see Cassie Parks coming here. By the way, she's not a rookie. She knows how to make money, obviously, because she's an investor now. So she's got cash, and that's usually the sign of, is the person a pretender or a contender? And if they're flush with money and they've got a thriving business, and again, people like to work with them, that's a good sign. Okay, we're going to get to the final part of our Saturday show, right? Which is you did something that was completely outside the box. And this is always a topic of conversation, and people just have to figure out, or find out, I should say, when is the best time to introduce the monetization of your platform.
Yes.
Now, again, a lot of people get confused because some people get overzealous, and the first thing they talk about is make money with your platform instead of explaining the platform first.
Right. Because I know, you know, Zoom's never paid me, LinkedIn, Facebook. I'm like, well, what if we did the opposite, you know, and we actually help people make some more money?
Well, this kind of makes you a disruptor.
Absolutely. Don't you
Now,
love it?
this disruptors are typically loved by the many and hated by a few. The
Put in chat, which one are you? Are you a lover or a hater? There you go.
Oh, I got cut off there. Did you say, are you a lover or a hater?
Yeah, they're putting all lover.
All right, so let's get into the final part of our show, and this is important. And now, if you've been with us a while, you need to pay attention, because you're going to be able to tell the story yourself here shortly, because we're about to go into some hyper growth, and you got to get ready for that. It'll be all hands on deck. Where are we? Okay, so first off, before you can talk about making money, how big is the marketplace that BeeKonnected is going to be playing in? Now, this is not limited to this, but these are the top 3, in my opinion, marketplaces where BeeKonnected is most needed, right? Where people could benefit the most. One, as I mentioned, is the direct sales industry, because we have patent pending software, which kind of gives us carte blanche to go into these companies and find these leaders and give them something that no one else in the world can offer them, a solution that they're all they're facing a problem, because they're always having to say the dreaded words online of get back to the person that invited you.
Ew.
Now, when you're in a live meeting and you've brought them, like here at there was 5,000 people at the meeting last night. If the speaker on the stage said that, you only have to turn to the person to your left or right who brought you, because you're sitting with them.
Right.
So you can turn it right over. But online, you can't do that. And if you say, get back to the person who invited you, the conversion drops like a rock.
Absolutely.
And of course, we got a great video from our CMO and CCO that explains that. Now, the Zoom, I'm not really trying to compete with Zoom, because that's not even a fair fight, right? All you got to do is do a demonstration, and it's pretty much a slam dunk. We're more effective. We have more tools. I call them toys. We're more affordable, because if you start to become a big user, you know who you are. We talk to these CEOs all the time, and we show them the price point, and their jaw hits the ground going, what?
Exactly.
Like, how can you afford to do that? Well, it's because we get a lot of customers. Now, the last one, we had some training recently. Now, the average user uses like 6.7 different platforms continuously, because social media is a dominant industry. The top tech companies' net worth, combined net worth, I heard on one of the business channels where they talk about stocks and stuff. They said the top tech companies' net worth collectively was 13.5 trillion. By the way, that's with a T.
Right.
Do I need to say that in Thai?
I don't think you can.
I don't even know how to say trillion in Thai. I don't even think they have a word for it in Thai. So I know when you talk about billion, you have to say lan, which means million. So I know they don't have a word for trillion. But there's 5 trillion, or 5 trillion, now you got me crazy. 5 billion people on social media. So we talk about price points. Now, again, making money is wonderful, but when people are brand new in business, a lot of times they don't have a lot of capital. So that's why we always start with sign up for free, put your toe in the water. But the rest of the evolution of their business, do they need 100 attendees like on a call, 250, 500, 1,000 or more? We have them all covered. But a lot of people, if you're sitting there and you're only doing webinars and you're only got like 50 people or 30 people, what happens when your business scales, ladies and gentlemen, and you need 500 or you need 1,000? Then you're going to get a sticker shock from the company that you like right now, that you're comfortable with right now, and find out they're going to want like $4,000 out of you. $4,000. You went from free to $4,000. It's like a crack deal, right?
Yeah.
You get the first try for free, and then they got you, and then they since they have no competition, they're just gouging people, in my humble opinion, about what they're charging. Case in point, you know, if we took Kajabi and Zoom, because remember, Kajabi is a great company, but they can't do virtual conferencing. And Zoom is a great virtual conferencing company, but they can't sell the premium content. So the combined total of those two softwares at 1,000 attendees is over $600, and that's not counting all the other fine print they're not showing you. Compared to our special right now, that if you become a platinum member, you can get upgraded to Platinum Plus and be grandfathered in. So that's $50. So again, the price point. Why do we make sure that people understand this? Because when we start talking about making a ton of money, the money comes from the number in green right there. It doesn't come from shenanigans, right? It all comes from membership sales.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I was on the other day with someone who was a lawyer, right? So again, you got to, you know, the lawyers are always looking for the gotcha.
Yeah.
They're just wired that way. Of course, I think that person ended up becoming part of your VIP Platinum, did they not?
Absolutely.
So, okay. That's how you pass the smell test, when you get to talk to the attorneys and they're like, oh, I'd do that.
Yeah.
Okay, so when we talk about money, this is always a tricky subject because of the 30 years that I was in the direct sales world, and I had other businesses. Money is always a funny thing, right? Because everyone has their beliefs and everybody has their opinions, which they're entitled to. But I like Robert Kiyosaki, who wrote this amazing book. He grew up and he was a prodigy of the Hawaiian culture, where his real dad was a college professor, but in reality, he was the poor dad of the two people he talks about in the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It was his best friend's dad was one of the richest men in all of Hawaii.
Yeah.
And then Robert, I think, does a great job, right, Tanya? He breaks it down very simply. There are 4 different avenues of making money. Now, employees, right, they're trading time for money, and they have zero leverage. You know, you get a couple sick days and you get a couple weeks a year to take a vacation, and then they own you for the rest of those 40 hours a week. So there's no time, there's no leverage. Now, a lot of people become self-employed, where they own a job, but it's still more money for the time, but again, no leverage. I'm talking about helping people understand the B and the I quadrant more, which is only 5% of the population. Now, there's nothing wrong with the E and the S quadrant, but if you want to collapse timeframes, make a lot of money, you have to adopt some of the principles of the B and I people. So in the world of business, now remember, we're talking about a market we're involved in, which is big tech. And remember, as we talked about, there's almost 5 billion people online. 5 billion. There's what, 7.5 billion people on the planet. So that's virtually most of the civilized society. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you got to pick a lane here when we're talking about this, because sometimes people focus on something that might not be their strength. Number one is the doer, right, Tanya? And these are the people you coached for years.
Absolutely. They love what they're doing.
All they wanted to do was coach, train, motivate, educate the audience, correct?
Absolutely.
But they had a hard time monetizing their following. Is that?
Oh yeah, always. They were always frustrated because they were like, okay, how do I make money doing what I love doing?
Continuously.
Yes, that's the kicker right there.
Now, from the doer's mindset to number two, the recruiter, that's a whole different animal. That's a whole different skill set. And you can make a fortune being a recruiter, and you don't really are left with any of the heavy lifting because all you're doing is making introductions. Now, the third person is the one who typically makes the most money of the three. That's the builder. They're a doer and a recruiter, and then something more, right? Because they're ponying up and making a commitment. It's kind of like raising a child. They don't just like if it's real estate, you sell somebody a home, you don't stay in the home. You got to go find another buyer for another home, right? You can't sell them a home and say, hey, can I move into one of the bedrooms? No. But a builder would camp out, and that's we've got some people like Ray Harrison's doing a fantastic job, right, Tanya? He's bringing so many quality
amazing
clients.
people he knows.
So he's got his entrepreneur hat on, and he's very coachable right now, and he's just bringing clients that have millions of customers to the table. So that's very exciting. Now this looks very like shock and awe, like holy cow. I put this up the other day to somebody and they're like, whoa. I'm like, relax, you don't have to do all of them, they just exist. Again, remember the Golden Corral explanation. We have compensation for the people that do podcasts, that do sell content, that do shows. We have the ability for you to make more money with our software as a doer. Then we get into the B, the C, and the D. That's our affiliate program. We have another category for VIP Platinum. And then the granddaddy of them all, if you can make it there, the trophy, right? This is the gold ribbon. This is the Volvo X is to become VIP Elite. And there's very limited seats at the table for C and D. So this is the best, this is the easiest explanation I can show you, ladies and gentlemen, is we have an affiliate partner program that's based on 2 tiers, not 2 levels. So we support the direct sales industry, but we're not an MLM. And a lot of people get confused because they think if you pay more than one revenue stream, that's all they know how to say. Right?
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
like, no, it's not how it works. So John here in this equation is an affiliate partner, right? He's a platinum or platinum plus. Jane signs up as a free member. John's going to love Jane and help Jane if Jane needs some help, because anybody Jane's bringing to BeeKonnected, anybody that upgrades on the platform, John makes the commission because Jane's here to build her business. She's not here to build BeeKonnected. She's here to build her business. But if she interacts with her customers and they like BeeKonnected and they say, oh, I want to buy that, I want to do that, any of that commission goes to John. So then what happens, right, Tanya, more times than not, Jane finds out what's going on. And she's like, hold the phone. That's my group. That's my network. I want to monetize my own following. So if Jane does upgrade, John doesn't get cut out. He's actually awarded 100% match whatever Jane generates.
It's pretty awesome. I'm so glad we did that.
Again, this is if John brings on Jane and he's a builder and he helps Jane get to $5,000 a month on her first tier, how much does John make? $5,000. Now, how many Janes can John get? As many as he wants. So let's go back and look at Jane, right? Because it doesn't matter what John does now. Jane wants to go out and work with the Chamber of Commerce, an influencer, a direct sales company. The first thing is you teach everybody to sign up for free and let the conversions happen. So many people try to sell people on a conversion. We've already got funnels and things of that nature. So if we did say a macro influencer, there's 4 different types of influencers, but macro means they're about 500,000 people. That doesn't mean they're a mega, they're not an Anthony Robbins, they're not, a Gary V, but they're a decent influencer with 500,000. If we only convert 1% of their network, now, ladies and gentlemen, that's 1%. And again, this is for illustration purpose only, not a guarantee of income. Almost passed out there. That's a disclaimer. 1% means $25,000 a month in passive residual income, not only for the influencer, but also for Jane.
Are you kidding me?
Now, remember, the influencer is not limited to only one tier of income. That's the influencer's first tier. So the question would be, how big is the following of the, 5,000 people that upgraded? What is the following of the 5,000? The influencer gets to make an override or a commission on that second tier. Jane does not, right? We only pay 2 tiers. Now, if this sounds confusing, understand I'm explaining what big business models look like. There's affiliate programs all over the planet, and some of the biggest companies, like an Amazon, they have affiliate programs. We didn't reinvent the wheel there. We just built one of the most powerful affiliate platforms on the planet, because we're going to become the #1 connection company for entrepreneurs in the world. That is our focus, is to connect more entrepreneurs to other entrepreneurs, so combined they have greater success. Is that a fair assessment, Tanya?
That's the whole point.
Okay, so now there's limited in time and scope. Now again, we're going to shift now to the I quadrant, and this is where your money works for you. Now remember, this is just optional, and if it resonates with you, great, and if it doesn't, don't worry about it. It's not a mandatory situation or type of thing. So we created, again, another revenue stream. Now, why so many revenue streams, Tanya?
Because my friend, a billionaire back in 2007, said, stop doing that, Tanya. Don't just have one income stream. You have to have multiple income streams while you're doing one thing. And I was like, oh, that's brilliant.
And his name was Bill, and my mentor was Bill, and my first mentor was Bill. So there's a trend going on here. So if I have a kid, I'm going to call him Bill.
There we go.
I'm just kidding. I'm too old. Okay, so VIP Platinum is the I quadrant, and so what this is, ladies and gentlemen, it is and will be 10% of all of our global membership sales are set to the side. And you can understand, 10% of nothing is nothing. 10% of 10 million is a lot of money that's in this pool. You have to understand, and 10% of that is for VIP Platinum. And I like Cassie's story, right? She just signed up as a rep, and then she moved to VIP Platinum. And then what happened after that?
She's like, wait a moment. Why can't I just go right into the equity position?
No. You remember, she was in a competition, and she had to be the #1 in the VIP Platinum.
Oh yeah.
It's like, how many does so and so have? Okay, I got to beat them. And then of course she got to the top of the totem pole and became #1 and said, I want more.
Exactly. Oh, and by the way, there's only 17 units remaining as of this morning.
Oh, what?
I know.
Why am I always the last to know and I'm the one with the presentation? Okay, so ignore what I'm about the press. Okay, that's supposed to be 17 because I can't count. But anyway,
it's going too fast. You know, people are like, wait, I want more.
All right, so we got to slow down here. So to new people, this is extremely important, because this decision can make somebody a lot of money now and in the future. So each of these units, there's 1,000 of them. It's broken up. Now it's only limited by how many units are available, and once they're gone, they're gone. It doesn't come back, right? So the net profits of this opportunity get paid quarterly. Here's the most important thing: there is no production quota. I did this on purpose, because I want this to be an asset you own. It's not something that's derived based on a work ethic. That's not how the I quadrant works. When you say, if you go to this is not stock, but if you go to the stock market, let's say you buy Verizon stock, do you have to show up to a meeting? No.
That's great.
But it's an asset. If it goes up, you make money. And that's what this is all about, is helping you with the new revenue stream. Now, once the pool is closed, this is important, it cannot be diluted. So this is an illustration to show you, and again, these are approximate numbers, right? There's variables in here. But the numbers to the left talked about when we get to, say, 1 million upgraded customers, and then 5 million, then 10 million, and it keeps going. There's no limit, there's no cap. Just because the graph only goes to 10 million doesn't mean it stops there. And then this shows if you had 2 units or you had 10 units in the pool, since they're of equal value, then when we get to 1 million, if you own 2 units, you would have 6,000 a month that passively comes in every month, regardless if you work or not. If you own 10 units, you'd probably make everybody else mad right now because there's only 17 left. But you have 30,000 a month coming in. Now, here's the beauty, because we're going to go from 1 million to 10 million really fast, right? Because this whole thing goes in a hyperdrive once the word gets out. And can you imagine 1 million people on BeeKonnected doing virtual conferencing every day?
Exactly.
I mean,
think
that's
that's why
how you
we've had
become,
a couple people are like, wait a moment, I got 40 units.
that's how you become a household name. When you have 1 million people, they're not trying to promote BeeKonnected. They're just using BeeKonnected. It's how Zoom grew in the pandemic, right? They had like 2,600%, 2,600% growth, right? They went from 10 million to 300 million in 18 months. So again, we're talking about for the first 10 million. So you can see there, when we get to that phase where we're about to do an IPO, our VIP platinum members are making a substantial dollar amount before they get out of bed. And that's the exciting part. Now, the last thing, if you're brand new, and this is limited in scope. Now, I don't know if it's going to be mostly recruiters or if it's going to be mostly doers. The jury is out, because you can qualify to get stock options in BeeKonnected by being one of the first 20 affiliate partners that reach a collective total of 10,000 members in BeeKonnected with no matrix. In other words, you could find influencers, you could sign up direct sales companies. And so you can see their A, B, and C says it could be someone with their personal following. It could be somebody who has a team of people, or a combination thereof. Now, why is that important? Again, this is the I quadrant that says when we have 1 million paid members, according to the bankers and lawyers, the conservative number that I put on the sheet, theirs is much higher. I'm being more conservative. The evaluation would be approximately 2 billion. When we get to 10 million, which is my goal when we do the IPO, is at 10 million, then you have to put a 0 on all the numbers on the screen.
That's nice.
Now, this is crazy talk if you haven't gone through the entire who are we, what are we selling, where are we at in the marketplace. Yeah. If you come out of the gate saying, would you like to make 20 or $400 million, Jimmy? Jimmy's probably going to call 911 and get you an ambulance because he's thinking you've taken something funny. And that's what some people are doing right now. They're leading with the greatest opportunity, and they're just talking about money before they talk about the validity of BeeKonnected in the marketplace. Are we competitive to Zoom? It's not even a fair fight. Kajabi, all these companies are amazing doing one thing. BeeKonnected has decided we'll go ahead and put 9 tech stacks in one app.
Yeah, let's bundle it together. Simplify.
Now, at the end of this, if you're new and you're watching this for the first time, there's always 3 kinds of person. The first person says, I don't have an online business. I'm not interested. Second person says, hey, I would like to become a member and join this amazing platform. And the third one says, hey, I'd like to be that beta user and take advantage of the special, right? If I sign up at Platinum, you'll make me Platinum Plus. And then you immediately on day 1 can monetize your business in another way, right? It's immediate. We pay weekly, by the way. That's WEEKLEY versus WEAKLEY. Now, I've told that joke for 30 years, but it's still funny. Okay, what's the Investors Finder fee all about?
Well, there's a lot of people who know incredible individuals or even companies that are looking to invest in tech companies just like ours. So we definitely want to say thank you with a very nice, very generous finder's fee.
So if you would like to make $250,000 in an introduction, if you know of an investor, now we have money, we have plenty of money in the bank and more coming every day. And that's not the question, but when we're going to scale now, right? When we're going to jump from where we're at to the next million and then 10 million. Remember, I talked about you have to have capital start and you have to have capitals in reserve. We're willing to trade 5% of our equity for another 10 million. Now, do you have to give this conversation? No. You do the intro, and then we have a special investor pitch we call pitch deck to show them all the finances, the financials, what is it, the PPL, all that good stuff I don't know anything about.
PPM, yep.
PPM, okay, see, PPQ, FDR, I don't know. JYK, acronyms. I need a translation book. But the point is, seriously, then there is now, where does this number come from? Because we are incorporated out of Texas, and Texas has a maximum 2.5% finder's fee reward. Can't go beyond that, or you violate the law. And I am still too pretty for jail.
Exactly.
Okay, so Tanya, obviously another amazing week. So many things are going on behind the scenes. It would blow people's mind if they actually knew what was going down.
Yes, and I think Cassie was like, "Does it have to be one person?" No, it doesn't have to be one person.
No, combination, but that's the maximum dollar amount we can pay. So 2.5% multiplied by a collective 10 million. I don't care if it's, what is it, 20. It's too early for math. I didn't have any coffee. Whatever the combination.
I'm still trying to get through mine.
We like to have fun here, but again, we're very serious. Now, if I could just take a second of your time, I know we covered a lot of facts, a lot of information, but we got to back up sometimes and say, where is the world at right now, right? The world is on fire. There's all kinds of talk about, the next Armageddon, whatever. People are scared to travel now. There's not safe environment. And I also know because of inflation, and we're just coming out of a pandemic, people are needing to make more money. And with AI technology stepping in, a lot of the manual jobs are going to the wayside, which means I can see in the future hundreds of millions of more entrepreneurs about to go into the marketplace, ladies and gentlemen. Right? You got to stop and think about this, right? I don't sit here and should take this the wrong way. I don't have my time focusing on the widget as an owner of the company. I'm looking at the bigger picture, saying if let's say only a couple 100 million people are going into the marketplace in, say, the next 5 years, what percentage of those couple 100 million people are going to want to start their business on the BeeKonnected platform?
Yeah, because they want to start off simple right away, right from the start.
And they need to start for free if they're a brand new entrepreneur coming from a third world country. And then as their business starts to scale and they start to make more money, they'll need more advanced technology to keep up with that. So we already have AI within our platform, right? People are talking about it now like it's new. That was the first thing we did 4.5 years ago, was build software with AI technology built into it. So we have all these amazing platforms, but timing is everything, ladies and gentlemen. The one thing I learned from all the multimillionaires that taught me was you got to be at the right place at the right time, but you have to recognize it and take action.
Exactly.
Now, one direct sales company, if somebody were to land the direct sales company that's giving a convention here, you would start off by doing one presentation and have 100,000 customers the next month. Now, if you can't multiply $2 times a couple 100,000, just understand you became an instant millionaire. So it takes one direct sales company, one major influencer to completely change the landscape of who you are. And we've been doing trainings. We train the people, right? We have special classes. And I think it was a week ago, 2 weeks ago, I broke down the influencer world.
Exactly.
And people were shocked to find out there were 64 million influencers on Instagram.
They're like,
not 64,000, not 640,000, 64 million influencers. And you got to have 10,000 to be considered an influencer. And so that's just one social media platform. That's not counting TikTok. That's not counting YouTube. That's not counting Facebook. That's just Instagram. So there's an entire sea of opportunity because none of the tech companies are paying residual income based on subscribers.
Exactly.
They're only paying advertising dollars, and they're giving you crumbs. And that's why they have 13.5 trillion and we do not. All right, boss, any final words? Because we're at the top of the hour.
So if y'all are, brand new here and you're like, oh my gosh, I've got to get involved, just hit that top button over to the left to join today. The middle one is the bonus pool unit form. So if you're like, ooh, I really want another unit, or I want my first unit or units, grab that form right away. And then the bottom one is, a lot of times people are like, oh, I want to tell the world about BeeKonnected. How do I do that? All the marketing promo items are in that little space down there. So just
do not reinvent the wheel.
Yeah, do not.
If you can text, if you can email, or you can post, you can become successful at BeeKonnected because we're giving you all the tools. So it's a turnkey situation. And then you just plug them into our formula of our 5-touch rule if you find a leader, and you're good to go.
Love it.
Boss, great job. Everyone, we appreciate you being here. Now remember, next month is July, and you know what happens in July? The new app comes up, and then it's all bets are off, right? If you're shy, stay home, because once the new app comes out, I'm going to go into hyper attack mode. Hyper attack mode, right? Because there's no reason why we can't go out there and scale another 10 million people in the next 12 months. There's absolutely no reason why that can't happen. And then, of course, if you're in the bonus pool, you're going to be a happy camper, because go back and do your own math of how many units and what's that worth. And again, we do appreciate you being here. As always, we love you all. We appreciate you all. So until next time, God bless.
Bye, everybody.
Recording has stopped.
Kap kun mama kap. I can say that now that the recording stopped.
All right.
Bye, everybody.
Yeah.